Hey, everybody. It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday, April 14th, and I've been doing a million things, but I've also been doing some sports algorithm work, and you guys would like to hear about that. So let's talk about some things. Let's talk about hockey. There are games going on right now. We almost predicted the first game totally correctly. Let's change the formatting a little bit and show you. We thought it was going to be 4-2 and ended up being 5-2 Minnesota. Good for them. Maybe it'll be a good day for the algorithm. I don't know. It had Calgary kind of yesterday getting a close game here. It's a super close game. Respect that Calgary will be closer to Montreal than Vegas thinks. That's what to learn from that game. Winnipeg and Ottawa. Ottawa's got a good line. This game should go to Winnipeg, but somehow the projected score is only has it as a one-goal game because the goalie strength is not strong, so keep that in mind. Colorado and St. Louis. This is the... What? Oh, I just refreshed and something happened. When I set this out this morning, this was a really high percentage. But Devin Dubnyk, I think, changed as the goaltender instead of Grubauer. And this all of a sudden becomes a closer game, but a high-scoring game at 5-3. So it really likes an over in this game. And that's new news I just noticed. Vegas and LA really loves Vegas. So this is really the pick of the day. I was about to say Colorado over St. Louis is the pick of the day, and I'm wrong. It's Vegas over LA is the pick of the day. Thinks they're going to cover the 1.5. Thinks they're going to cover the goal line. And everybody's expected to go here. Also, sneaky Anaheim, extremely close to San Jose, so Anaheim plus 1.5, because that's a really good line, is okay. All right, we just blew through hockey. Now let's get down to business. Let's talk baseball. Oh my gosh. Even Katrina's like, you're having a good day today? Is it going to win today? Is that what you said? Yeah. Yeah, that's what you said. It was a good day today so far. So I've been messing around with a lot in the baseball algorithm. And it's only going to get better throughout the year. That's the fun thing about this one, because you get more current stats. So let's talk about what's happening. And yesterday sucked. Yesterday was terrible. Look at yesterday. 5-12. Talk about losses. I mean, this is not pretty in pink. This is bad. This is a lot of losing. That's okay. Happens. It's early in the season. Stats are coming in. So far today, all of a sudden, this thing looks like a genius. What does it have? It had Toronto as an underdog winning 4-3. Guess what? They won 5-4. Right? Good. Had them across the board here. Washington and St. Louis had Washington winning 6-3. Washington won 6-0. It also had St. Louis as one of the bottom-tiered team ranking power combinations of the day. What that means is when you look at all the teams and kind of line them up, most powerful at the top with the highest number and the weakest with the lowest number, some of the bottom 10% of that rung was St. Louis, and they got smoked. It didn't even score today. So score one for the algorithm picking that off. That's good. How about Cubs and Milwaukee? Guess what? 7-0 Milwaukee. The algorithm thought it was going to be a closer game, but did think Milwaukee was going to be extremely close or barely win. They won by more than that. Now, well, why is that? Is that because of current stats? Is that because maybe the stats we should look at some more in-depth stats from, say, last year? Would that have changed the score around a little bit? We're trying that. The answer is, yeah, that actually would have made it a 5-2 game if we used 2020 stats for Jake Arrieta and Corbin Burns. That's what I just did there. So that would have made it a higher scoring game for Milwaukee. So there is some still good information that you can gather from messing with the algorithm there. How about LA and Kansas City? I don't know if this was the final score. I didn't know if I updated the final. I think it was. Yes, it was. 6-1. We had Kansas City winning 5-4. Kansas City was also an underdog here. So this is give another one for the algorithm. We used 2020 stats for Kansas City. If we use 2020 stats for LA, no. But there's no 2021 stats for Brad Keller yet, I believe. No, there was. And his ERA was insane. It was at 19. So what I did was I saw that ridiculous ERA from the first start, and I said, that's bad information. Let's use 2020. Sure enough, that makes Kansas City win, and Kansas City wins even easier than we thought. Score another one for the algorithm. Boston and Minnesota. It had a close game to be won by Minnesota, and instead it was a Boston that wins a close game. We got the runs almost exactly right for Boston and Minnesota. Just Minnesota's offense did not get there. Showed it was going to be a close game. Minnesota's lineup factor probably is a little distorted because they had a weak series against whoever they played early in the year. They got really hot or something. They haven't been that way in the last week or so. Cincinnati and San Francisco going on, all these games going on, doubleheaders, all this stuff going on. So what else what knowledge and what interesting things can we take from this looking later in the night, because this game is just getting started here on the East Coast as I'm recording this video right now at 6:40. So what can we do? It says across the board San Diego should absolutely destroy Pittsburgh. Now, that is using 2021 stats. Let's try 2020 stats as a simulation and see what that looks like. It still shows San Diego winning this game 5-3. How about 2019 stats? Keep going backwards if you just keep doing this. Yeah, 2020 has them winning 9-2 if you look the way it was in 2019. Sorry, 2 years ago. This is probably a little distorted in favor of San Diego. It's probably closer to the 5-3 that you're going to see, because you don't have a lot of stats for Tyler Anderson this year, but he's not having a good year in 2021, and it's good to know that. So it's saying take San Diego -1.5. That is what it's saying to do. All right, that is basically the pick of the day from the algorithm, is that, because they have the highest margin percentage right here. This means that this margin right here is the biggest for San Diego. It's saying they're supposed to win by the most. This is the biggest distorted game. That's what you bet. Well, what else is there? Well, down here, it really likes Los Angeles Dodgers against the Colorado, not the Avalanche, but the Rockies. Thinks they're going to win 5-2. I think it's going to be a closer game because John Gray's pitching has been better this year so far for Colorado. But if we change those stats to 2020 and look at a simulation from last year, what we get is still a very distorted game in favor of the Dodgers, and has them winning 7-2. And they just won 7-0 last night. So another really strong pick is the Dodgers -1.5, or the Dodgers to win at that -238, which is not a good line, but yeah, I guess you mess around and take a -1.5 because the algorithm says to do so, even though they're at home. Anything else in the middle here? I don't know. I haven't really dug into it, but I just like the explicit nature of what the algorithm is telling us to do. It's saying bet against St. Louis because they were weak today. If you bet against St. Louis, you had a team that shut them out, so that's great. It's saying bet against Pittsburgh, bet with San Diego, and bet against Pittsburgh is what it's saying. It's saying bet with the Dodgers. It is saying, what else is it saying? It's saying bet with Tampa Bay over Texas. Are there any other underdogs in here? It says this Detroit-Houston game is actually pretty close. If you look at the rosters, Houston brought in a bunch of guys that haven't played it all this season. That's why their lineup's a bit incomplete here. Got some guys that are not even on here because they haven't had any stats so far this year. So Houston's looking a little weaker than normal because they have newer guys. Anyway, it can get super complicated. But if you do one thing tonight, it is San Diego and the Dodgers. It's two things in one. But that's what it is. So that's a sports update for Wednesday, April 14th. And good luck, everyone. May all your picks be winning.